We are starting with the next part of our coursework, that is cloud computing architecture. In this part, we'll see different kind of architectures and different kind of the cloud computing technologies that are involved to support internet-based cloud computing. We'll majorly see requirements. We'll see introduction to the cloud computing architecture, various kind of cloud computing architecture, SOA, grid computing, and transactional on-demand distributed computing, especially with the database systems. Requirement in this we had seen earlier in the first part of this course. It is basically scalability, cost requirement like pay as you go model, legal agreement like level agreement or quality of service that we discussed, and various type of business that could be done with the help of cloud computing. So these are the basically requirement of cloud computing. Then next, we'll see detail in this thing, the various requirement. So some of the part we had discussed earlier, like for example, data storage and distribution of these data storage. Then high processing computation that is required. Transactions computing means different type of transaction taking place, means processes taking place over network. Then caching, all these things are being changed according to the requirement of information technology and software architecture level. So these are the requirement which are creating role for cloud computing. And then workflow means how the processes are working in an organization. So these workflow is also changing. So the changing demand of these workflow or process of an organization is creating requirement for cloud computing. Then access control, various type of employees and students or various hierarchy of humans working on some internet based technology in an organization company. Thus, this gives a requirement for access control for different employees and participant of an organization. Then service level agreement means there are 10 different companies working together. There has to be some standard which need to be followed, and there has to be some qualities which need to be provided by different type of vendors or providers. So this has to be necessarily been given as a legal agreement, that is service, that is called service level agreement. So these requirements are changing with the changing environment of computing technology. Then changing enterprise and industrial roles of customer provider and ISV. So these customer provider and industry and enterprise, all the things are being changing, and they are changing in terms of the customer, consumer, provider. So this is the reason why we are using cloud computing. Then we'll see architecture could be of two types. This is very simple, that elasticity is the requirement behind the cloud computing. Means elasticity means scaling up. How much the cloud computing resources could be scale up. Scale up means the as the demand is increasing, so we need more and more resources to fulfill that demand. Thus, there are two basic type of elasticity possible. That is vertical scale up and horizontal scale up. In the vertical scale up means we have to keep on adding resources to the unit, single unit, and that will increase computational power. So keep on adding resources to a unit to increase computational power. This is vertical scale up. We keep on adding resources, RAM, processor, and storage, and this will be added on single device machine, and thus the computation power is increased, storage power is increased. Then process the job to a single computation unit with high resources. This is what the purpose of vertical scale up. It provides high resources that would be useful for a particular large size of process. Means that process requires high computation. Thus, we are giving high size of a machine for that process. But this vertical scale up could have limit that how much processor or secondary storage or primary storage uh, a machine can support. Thus, we have another type of architecture for scaling. that is horizontal scale out. In this horizontal scale out, we keep on adding discrete resources for computation and make them behave as in converged unit. So what we are doing, we are keep on adding different resources. Means machine 1 is connected with machine 2, machine 2 is connected with machine 3, machine 3 is connected with machine 4, machine 4 is connected with n number of machines, and these n number of machines are behaving like a slave, and there is a master machine which is actually controlling all these n machines, and this n machine are being controlled by a master machine. And this is how horizontally scale out computational resource. And this will also keep on increasing the resources, adding discrete resources, mean discrete machines or discrete storage devices or discrete secondary or primary storage devices, and we will write software on that such that it will look like it's a single machine instead of looking multiple machines. So the software is written such that all these machines are looking like one machine, and output would be produced by any one machine, and it will look like the output is produced by a cloud computing server. Splitting job on multiple discrete machine combine the output. This is how the process is been scheduled for this. Means different machine get different jobs, means different part of work to do, and when each machine complete its work, it would be sent to the master, and then the master will combine all the output and produce its output to the customer or the user. How it works, it is basically distributed database. So you have seen many distributed database earlier as well, I hope. And then these distributed database are being used with the different processes, and then the process results and output would be combined to produce a single output. For HPC, second option is better than first. So we need high performance computing. Thus, second option is much better than first option, because horizontal scale out means keep on adding of resources would be much better, because complexity and the cost of first option is very high. So vertical scale up has very high complexity, means you keep on adding resource to the single machine is very complex, and there is a limit to do that. Cost of that vertical scale up is also very high, means how much resources you can add to the server. This is also challenging. Now we'll see introduction to the cloud computing architecture. Here we'll see some of the fundamental cloud computing architectures. So first of all, we need to look the definition of different type of actors and models working in the cloud computing architecture. This is basically given by NIST, this model, this figure. It says that providing high level architecture overview for the cloud computing. So there are basically five actors, and we'll discuss each of their roles, responsibility and activity and their functions, so that we'll able to get what actually these five actors do in the cloud computing. If we want to define the cloud computing, it is also possible in terms of the role played by different actors or different stakeholders in the cloud computing. These are the basic high level five different stakeholders or actors. What it does, cloud high level architecture, how it provides, there are five major actors with their roles, responsibilities, activities and functions in the cloud computing. We'll understand the requirement behind them, usefulness behind them, characteristics behind them, and then standards related to the cloud computing. So we'll understanding of the requirements, uses, characteristics and standards of cloud computing. We'll see all of these things in detail. So what does this figure explains us? So there are five basic actors: cloud consumer, cloud provider, cloud broker, cloud auditor, and cloud carrier. Who are cloud consumer? The students that are using cloud computing technology to see the output of a cloud, like videos over it, slides over it, sharing document over it. So all these students are basically cloud consumers. And who are the cloud provider? Like Google, like Facebook is providing social networking, Twitter, LinkedIn, these are the cloud provider. Then who are broker are like some middle organization or middle company which actually says that these are the services and which services do you want to see. and which services do you want to see. Example of cloud broker are like website developers, which develops website over Google App Engine or Google websites. So on Google websites, if some company starts to develop website, then it's a kind of broker. And then auditor, what it does, it actually calculates the resources requirement and way it is required to process the whole cloud computing architecture and the model. Then cloud carrier. So cloud carrier are the basically network that actually transport packet from one machine to another. So this is responsibility of a cloud carrier, that how well a network for communication between the different actor, different four actor will work. This is how it has been stacked. We'll see and read the figure in more detail. So cloud carrier is in the bottom, means it is like most fundamental and basic part for communication of different machines over network. Then above that, it's cloud provider. So cloud provider again have the most one of the important role, and it what it does combination of services like infrastructure as a service. So the basic hardware level of components are being combined to provide infrastructure as a service. Then platform as a service. So various platform are being combined, means operating system or the useful softwares are being provided, or you can write your own program and then deploy it. So this is the purpose of platform as a service. Then software as a service. This is the most basic and well-known thing that most of us keep on using, like YouTube videos, like Google Docs, Google Form that we use. So all these are software as a service. Facebook that we use, it's a software as a service. And Twitter, LinkedIn, these are the basic application and software as a service. So these are the three layers. What cloud provider does, it does service orchestration, means combination of these services together such that it will be provided to the consumer like us. What it does, cloud provider, it also does cloud service management. And how it does portability and interoperability so that various cloud consumer can use their product. Then provisioning and configuration, means deployment of some process jobs or some applications so that it would be properly deployed, provisioned, that is, and configured, means how many user can use and what domain of user could do use that particular service. And then business support, that there are five organizations with them that cloud provider is working. There are 5,000 organizations with that cloud provider is working. So managing 5 to 50 or 5,000 number of organizations that cloud provider is dealing. So it's all being managed by the cloud provider. Then what is resource abstraction and control layer? Basically hardware that you are using and usage of that hardware that is not known to you. This is what is cloud provider actually abstract that knowledge. Means there is some physical resource, hardware and facility. So network and hardware are there, like RAMs and storage devices, disk, and all these networking issues. All these physical thing is being abstracted, means cloud consumer don't able to know about what is going behind. Like we don't know what is going behind Google infrastructure or Facebook infrastructure. Like Facebook infrastructure, our backend data was managed by Akamai. Akamai is a large size storage organization which provides services to Facebook, and Facebook stores its data over there. Then resource abstraction and control layer. So these all things, like most of us don't know Akamai is working behind Facebook. So this is what is called abstraction, and we don't know about this type of layering. This is the purpose and the working of a cloud provider. Next, consumer. That is, so we are cloud consumer. We are watching video. We are actually using social networking like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So we are consumer. Then, who are cloud broker? So this is like in between the cloud provider and cloud consumer. What is does service intermediation, means it provides services between cloud provider and cloud consumer. And how it does actually service aggregate, it aggregates the service arbitrage, means it actually collects all the random service and configure them and then aggregate it and then work in between the provider and consumer. Then cloud auditor, what it does security auditing, means how secure the data of consumer are. Then privacy, how much the privacy of one person to another person, and how many groups could work together, and there should not be another person which can interfere in that group. So these are the privacy issues managed by cloud auditor. So who are basically cloud auditor? Like every country have some monitoring policy that it blocks some of the websites, some of the content of another website, and these blocking thing are being done by country, and country has what cloud auditors. They have some organization, government organization working, and they says this type of link should not enter in the country for usage of country citizens. So they actually block those links. This is an example of cloud auditors. And performance auditing means this is being done by like Ookla is a company which actually monitors how's the network bandwidth. The network bandwidth report will come up. So these are the purpose of cloud auditor. Then cloud service characteristics. What is cloud service characteristics? It's basically divided into five parts. It is on demand self service, means as we discussed earlier, how much it is being demand by the user, only that much would be provided by the cloud provider. Then broad network access, means how large size of network is being provided to the user. So broadband are there, which are being connected to the devices through LANs, or there is wireless communication also. So these are the network access things. And resource pooling, it happens at the infrastructure level. So what it does means how many processes are working for a particular consumer, or how these processes are being scheduled, means first process is being scheduled for processing, then second, then third, then fourth, or the shortest job first, or the first come first serve job first. So these are the resource scheduling or pooling of different processes. Then rapid elasticity, that's what we discussed, means how many new machines could be added so that we'll have more elasticity, how resources in a particular device could be increased so that we'll have elasticity. Then measured services, how it does like quality of service, that what is the network bandwidth, and how quickly some website is responding, how delay it is creating for responding, how many times in a month or in a year that service fails. So what are the feature that it doesn't work? So these are the measurement of all these services. Then formal definitions we'll see for these five actors. So these are the five actors can be connected through each other with any ways with the help of cloud carrier. So the four actors are being combined together with each other with the help of cloud carrier. How it has been connected through cloud carrier. What is cloud consumer? Consumer is a person or organization that maintains a business relationship with and uses service forms, and that is cloud provider. So cloud consumer is a person like us, or organization like some some educational institute, or some companies, mechanical company, or some other companies. So these are the two type of consumers possible: individuals and organizations, and that maintains a business relationship with cloud provider. The cloud provider is the entity who actually provides services to the consumer, and in between this, how this relationship work, it also may need broker or may need auditor. So this is how actually cloud consumer communicates with cloud provider. They both can contact each other directly and they can both work together, but there's some need to have auditor and broker sometimes in some of the cases. Then cloud provider, a person, organization, or an entity responsible for making a service available to interested party. This is the actual service provider, cloud provider. And what it does, it provides some applications, some platforms for deployment of jobs, some infrastructure like storage, area. And this is the purpose of cloud provider. And it, to whom it provides? Individual persons like us, or an organization like the educational institute, or some government institute, or some company, mechanical company or IT company. So these companies will get benefited from the cloud provider. And then again, there's some entities which are independently working, which are not organization, not persons. So these are being taking help of services provided by cloud provider. Then cloud auditor, what it does, it is a party that conducts independent assessment of cloud services, information system operations, performance, security of cloud implementation. So the cloud auditor will actually help to keep check and control over the services. And how it does regular assessment of services and information systems that are operating from long time, and whether they need new version or something else, means there is bug that has to be corrected. So these are the cloud auditing. Then performance issue, that how many time it fails to maintain large amount of users. Then security, how much secure is the data of consumer, means there should not be loss of data, there should be encryption, there should be proper security available. Then cloud broker. Cloud broker is an entity that manages the use, performance, and delivery of cloud services and negotiate relationship between cloud provider and consumers. That's what we discussed. Means broker is in between cloud provider and cloud consumer. How it does negotiation between cloud provider and cloud consumer? So the cloud broker knows total there are hundreds of service provided by the cloud provider, but cloud consumer says no, 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 I only need five services from that cloud provider. So what cloud broker does, it takes only those five services by the cloud provider and then combine those five services and then provide customized one service combining those five services provided by cloud provider, and that one service is being used by cloud consumer as the way that cloud consumer can use five services of that cloud provider. And actually that cloud provider has hundreds of such service, but cloud consumer want to use only five service out of those 100 services by cloud provider. So the cloud provider provides negotiation like this, and then it keep on measuring the performance that these five services were working properly or not. So this is what it means by delivery of cloud service and negotiation. Then cloud carrier, as we all know, Airtel, Vodafone. So these are the carriers, and in different countries, different such carriers are there. So they actually create their tower infrastructure for network communication. And who actually makes those towers? Like Ericsson works tower development. So it provides network, and Cisco is there, Juniper is there for developing network in an organization. So these are the cloud providers. An intermediate that provides connectivity and transport of cloud services from cloud provider to cloud consumer. So cloud carrier actually communicates between cloud provider and cloud consumer through some networking. And this feature is being provided by cloud carrier. Next, we'll see different kinds of scenario possible for cloud computing. So we'll see first scenario. First scenario says that a consumer can interact with two type of cloud provider, and actually cloud consumer doesn't have much knowledge of both cloud provider 1 and cloud provider 2. So it is confused. Now cloud consumer is confused that there are two services by two different provider, and I want to use these two services, and the cloud consumer don't have much detailed knowledge of those two services. So it hires some cloud broker. What cloud broker does, it does combination of those two services by two different providers, and then it will be provided as a single service to the cloud consumer. The consumer interacts with the cloud broker instead of contacting a cloud provider directly. So instead of cloud consumer directly contacting the cloud provider, cloud consumer contacts cloud broker. So consumer contacts broker. That consumer don't know much information about these two services, and thus broker use its intelligence or organization or some knowledge to combine these two services and provide it to the consumer. The cloud broker may create a new service mashup by combining multiple services or by enhancing an existing services. So that's what we discussed, that cloud broker actually combining multiple services by the two providers, two different providers, and all these services are being combined and provided like a mashup to the consumer, so that consumer would have user friendly output and user friendly interaction with those services. Then actual cloud providers are invisible to the cloud consumer. So in this scenario, cloud providers are invisible to the cloud consumer. For example, we interact with Facebook, but in behind Facebook there's Akamai. So Akamai is the basic infrastructure as a service provider to us, but we don't know about this fact. It stores data set in the Akamai. So we interact with Facebook website and it fetches the data from Akamai. So this is a scenario of cloud computing scenario one. Another example is like we are storing some data set in YouTube. So it keeps on storing data set on YouTube, but there is an organization behind this YouTube works, that manages Google file system. So this Google file system actually responsible for storage of all these videos on the YouTube. So this is how it's abstracted. Means we interact with YouTube, but in the behind, it's some file storage system of Google which actually works and which is actually being responsible for this video outputs. Then scenario two, cloud carrier provides the connectivity and transport of cloud services from cloud providers to cloud consumers. So this is second scenario, like cloud consumer want to interact with cloud provider, and there are two different type of service level agreement. That first service level agreement is between cloud consumer and cloud provider, and second service level agreement is between cloud provider and cloud carrier. This cloud carrier provides the connectivity and transportation of service from cloud provider to consumer. As we discussed earlier, that cloud carrier is working in between the consumer and provider. Thus, it has some service level agreement between them. So the cloud provider is the entity which is actually doing the two different service level agreement. What it does like cloud provider participates in and arranges two unique service level agreements as well as one with cloud carrier, example service level agreement 2, and one with us cloud consumer, example service level agreement 1. So this is what cloud provider does. Cloud provider is doing in this scenario, it doing two different service level agreement, one with cloud consumer and one with cloud carrier. Then a cloud provider may request cloud carrier to provide dedicated and encrypted connections to ensure the cloud services in the service level agreements. So what it does, it contact cloud provider contacts cloud carrier and says that I want dedicated communication with the consumer, and the cloud provider also wants encrypted connection and encrypted communication with the cloud consumer. This is an example of service level agreement that cloud provider does with cloud carrier. So it provides some service to the cloud consumer. So this is an example scenario 2. Third scenario we can see. So scenario 3 says cloud auditor conducts independent assessment for the operation and security of the cloud service. So the cloud consumer and cloud provider is being communicating, both communicating to the cloud auditor, that the cloud auditor is the third party which is maintaining that there is enough resources being provided by the cloud provider or not. And it is actually, the auditor is checking whether consumer is getting enough security or not. So cloud auditor conducts independent assessment for the operation and the security of the cloud services. So the cloud consumer, how the cloud consumer will assure itself that it is getting better service and not having some security breach. So consumer contacts auditor, and auditor is the practical and capable and technological company that actually monitors everything in the service provided by the cloud provider, and it says to the auditor, says to the consumer, yes, you are getting enough security and enough better assessment and enough better operations from the cloud provider. So cloud consumer would be happy. And if there is some fault which has been done by the provider, then cloud auditor says this type of security breach is there, so cloud consumer should be aware of this, and then the cloud consumer contacts the provider for the for improvement of security. Then the audit may involves interaction with both the cloud consumer and the cloud provider. So the cloud auditor will may contact consumer as well as cloud provider. Means the cloud auditor themselves says that this is the security breach that you have to correct, so that cloud provider will improve that security feature. And next, we'll see these definitions in detail. Before that, we'll revise what we had discussed till now. Like we'll see requirements on the different cloud computing, like scaling, cost requirement for cloud computing, legal agreements that it does, then business between the different consumers. So what are the requirement behind the cloud computing? Data storage, distribution, high performance computing, transactional computing, caching, workflow, SS control, service level agreement, all these changing environment in industry and enterprise between customers and provider and ISVs are creating demand for cloud computing. Then architecture of elasticity means how many machines you can add, or one machine could having more resources. Means in vertical scale up, there's one machine which is being increased by the different resources, like RAM, secondary storage, more storage capacity, and next time it will be added more RAM and more storage capacity, and then one job is processed by through a high resource of that machine. But this adding of the resources is not efficient, so we need second type of technique, that is horizontal scale out. In the horizontal scale out, we keep on adding different machines together, and then these all machines are being worked together and then provided as a output for processing a job and distributed among various machines, and this is distributed database. And then second condition, horizontal scale out is much better for high performance computing, because vertical scale up has large complexity and very cost requirement for a vertical scale up. So we will use horizontal scale out for cloud computing. Then architecture, there are five basic actors in the cloud architecture, that is consumer, provider, broker, auditor, and carrier. So provider does orchestration between infrastructure, platform, and service applications, and it does service management by configuring the service and creating communication interoperability between the consumer and provider. And then business, how it works with different organization. Then it cloud provider also does abstraction of hardware working behind that. And then cloud consumer is being connected through broker or cloud carrier, and cloud carrier is the fundamental actor working for the other four actors. Then cloud auditor, it does security check, privacy check, and performance check. Cloud broker actually does service in collection, and cloud broker actually does aggregation of this service, and then it works between the consumer and provider. So the characteristics of services like it should be on demand, it should have broad network access, means it should work efficiently over network. Then different type of processes in the service should be scheduled properly. Then rapid elasticity means number of user is increasing, then it should keep on increasing the resources working behind in the infrastructure. And then measurement, the quality of service, like how much network access is there, security is there, so all these things are being measured. Then this is the five definition that we had discussed today, that cloud consumer is actually the person or organization like us which are using the cloud provider services. Then cloud provider provides some services to the consumer. Then cloud auditor actually works for security check, performance check. Similarly, broker works between the consumer and provider. Then carrier is providing resources between the cloud provider and consumer, and all the four get benefited from cloud carrier. Then scenario one, we had seen that cloud broker is combining multiple services of provider one and provider two to provide the complete service package to the consumer. So consumer is not contacting directly to the provider. Actually, consumer is contacting to the broker, and broker is combining multiple services of multiple providers, and the broker is providing service to the consumer. Then scenario two, there is two different service level agreement that cloud provider will do. That is service level agreement one, it does with consumer, and service level agreement two, the provider does with carrier. Example of this is like cloud provider says that encrypted and dedicated resource is required to communicate. This is being said by cloud provider in the service level agreement. So cloud carrier will do like this. Then there's scenario three, that different cloud consumer, cloud provider are been interacting with cloud auditor, and cloud auditor is checking the services quality, security and privacy of provider, and it is reporting to the consumer, and it is also telling the provider that this type of security is not working properly, and there's more need of privacy. So it all these things are being managed by auditor. So in next class we'll see all these actors in more detail: cloud consumer, cloud SAS consumer, so platform as a service, consumer infrastructure as a service, so, and cloud provider. So okay, bye for today. We'll meet in the next class.